Melgeek Mad68 HE. And this one here looks like it's an esports magnetic switch keyboard. Magnetic switches are different than mechanical. They just operate totally differently. Alrighty, let's open it up. Fierce gaming gear. Well, I'll show you Fierce Gaming. This is a very cool looking one. There's a couple different colors. Let's see what's inside, then we'll look at the colors together. Getting this hooked up. MADLIONS. So I guess the way I should do this, does that go through there? I think so. I think that's the way I would do it. Like that. And then I'd probably put that on the outside, or would I put that on the inside? That looks better on the inside for sure. Okay, so that's that there, and we can get it hooked up. But I just want to kind of look at it now. So it's not super heavy. It's meant to be light, obviously. It's portable. You can take it with you with its little strap. It's not super heavy. It does feel very sturdy though. Whatever the plastic is there, it gives a lot of rigidity. However, it's light. You do have a nice natural wedge shape to it. I guess there's like little elements like that that cut down on the weight and a little accent as well. Looks nice. You don't have raisable feet, so you just have the natural wedge, which is fine for me. That's what I use. Rounded kind of design on the back. Power in, kind of a vent thing. Definitely has a gamer vibe to it. Looks cool. I like it. The reason that when they said, do you want to review this? And I was just like, hell yeah, is I have a cartography background. In cartography, we like to use ISO lines, which would denote elevation change. And this looks like an ISO line map that denotes elevation change. I don't think it's supposed to be that, but I don't care. I like it anyways. So we do have like kind of a plane from the top. Looks completely plain. You can see the letters there though. So if you need to, if you're not a touch typist and you need to look at your keyboard from time to time, that's fine. It's there. So we do have dedicated directions, which for me, I say this all the time, is essential for me. I get why some people wouldn't want it, but for me, it's essential. In gaming, obviously, it's nice to have that for menus and things, but also to navigate spreadsheets, which is why I also need to have insert, delete, page up, page down. This is my kind of like Excel spreadsheet thing, which I do a lot of professionally. Backspace that, Then you do have your numbers here, which you can then do like a function swap to get into function keys and that, but it looks nice. So you can see that there, how that looks a little different. Notice how it doesn't have your typical 2-pin kind of switch because it's magnetic. You see it's a little bit different than a traditional mechanical key switch. It's magnetic. It doesn't have the traditional 2 pins there. Very cool. The RGB does shine through, so it's much easier to see if you don't want to see from the top. Right? You can't see too much there, but then from here you can. Looks really cool, actually. I like this a lot. Okay, so we'll just do a quick typing test here, see how it sounds, see how it feels, and I'll give you my feedback. But let's start with the typing here. It's very nice to type on. There's a little bit of a texturing to this keycap. It's got like a actual texture you can feel to it. There's no difference between the colors, but you can definitely feel the texture to the keycaps. It's actually quite nice. I like it quite a bit. The printing, like the cut through, is nice. It just looks cool overall, but the actual feeling of the keycap is nice. The bottoming out is nice. A little different than some of the other stuff, like the Mad68 that I did the Pro, or in the Air, sorry, which I just finished. You can watch my review of this. It's a totally different video. Just feels totally different, not even in the same realm. It's a totally different feeling keyboard, but this does feel quite nice as well. It's going to be more of a traditional layout, traditional sized keycaps and all that. Very nice though. I do enjoy typing it. The feeling is quite nice. The sound is quite nice. It doesn't feel rattly. The key switch feels nice. Magnetic switches feel different than a mechanical, just slightly. It's hard to describe. They feel quite different, obviously, than a tactile mechanical switch, but the actual key switches just feel a little different, and the bottoming out point is a little different as well. So this one here, it's right at the top, like right at the top. So there's like so much extra press there. You can basically Like that's pressing right there. So right at the top of the switch is where the actual point is. The rest of it is just extra travel. So it's just a little different, it just behaves a little bit different. Whereas, you know, mechanical switch, you have to go down to a certain point and then some physical thing is pressed where it's going to then depress the key. That's not the same here with a magnetic switch. So I don't think I need to go into too much detail with this one. It's a very cool and interesting looking keyboard. They have a couple different options in terms of the aesthetic, and they have tons of different keycap switches that you can pick from. I like the feeling of this one here, quite nice. I'd have to try the other ones to do a comparison, but I do like the feeling of this. So we have some different little RGB effects you can do. This is one, for example, the WASD arrow key. So if you're playing games, you're going to be able to easily, like with lights off, you're going to be able to easily navigate where you're trying to go. WASD. So that was just function and that there. That's going to give you access to turning those on or off, regardless of what the rest of the keyboard is doing. Right. W gives you your different, let's actually turn that off. Actually, let's leave it on so we can see what the contrast looks like with the different effects. So W, so back and forth. So that's kind of a static one. And then you can decide like if you want that on or you want it off. All right, change your different effects here. So there's so many different options here, right? But it's actually very interesting that you can then also set up that WASD if you need it on or off. So yeah, I mean, maybe you want RGB, but you still want it to stand out. Maybe you don't want RGB, right? It's still going to stand out even with that on there. So it's actually quite a good idea. I mean, that's just a nice thing. You can go with something a little bit more simple, a little bit of a wave through effect here, but then this is still static. So if you're playing at night or something, or you just need to be able to quickly identify where WASD is, you can hand off the keyboard to type something, you're going to still have access to that. Or if you don't like it, you turn it off. Keep it more sleek. So very cool. So what I think about the keyboard, it's really cool. It looks very nice. There's the two different like visual options. There's this one, and there's the kind of reddish one. That's your choice. I just happened to pick this one. They asked me if I wanted to review one. Tons of different key switch options. I haven't tried them all, so I can't give you a rundown on all of them, but this key switch here feels quite nice, actually. I like it quite a bit. The keyboard is very light, portable, good for taking with you gaming. You got your little strap here, and it just looks cool. It's something that's going to catch people's eye, right? It's a traditional still keyboard. You know, there's nothing weird about it, honestly. You still can see all your keycaps on that if need be, all of your letters through the keycaps if need be. So it's traditional in that sense, but at the same time, it stands out quite a bit. It's a very aesthetically unique key switch. Very aesthetically unique keyboard here. And then, of course, you do have access to the magnetic switches, which lots of benefits to them. One of the benefits, they're not going to get all grimy and wear out like your traditional switches. I just don't have luck with mechanical key switches, and I keep a really clean setup, but I always end up at some point going through switches, probably because I just type so freaking much. That's the Mad68 MADLION edition. MADLIONS edition. Very cool keyboard. I like it quite a bit. Very unique, very interesting.